So today I'm tying a Klinkhamer. Klinkhamer is a good emerger dry fly pattern. It's tied on a curved hook so you can have it sit just in the film, which is really good for when you get an emergence of mayflies or caddis or any sort of bug that's coming out of the water. I like using it a lot for mayflies. I tie it in a bunch of different colors and sizes, and it really is a good catch-all pattern. Let's get tying. So today I will be tying on a size 14 Daiichi Klinkhamer hook. I think it's a 1170. And for thread, I'll be using 16-aught Vivus olive thread. For these dry flies, using 16-aught is really nice when you're not trying to make a head on these flies. And we'll get a good base of thread down. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie in our parachute post using white McFly-Lawn. You can use poly yarn as well, but yeah, we really like McFly-Lawn. It floats really well and gives a nice full post that you can really see, which is very important when you're fishing these dry flies, especially when you get down to the real small sizes. You tie that in and tie up the post. And I'll do a couple wraps in front and a couple wraps behind just to secure that in there. Then I will take my hackle feather, strip some of the barbs off there, tie it in nice and clean, tie that in along the hook, and then up the post. Now we'll bring our thread back down and create a nice little dubbing noodle, keeping it pretty thin. Here I'm using Fly-Rite number 3 dark olive dubbing. It's good synthetic dubbing. And for hackle, I'm using a dyed grizzly, olive dyed grizzly. But like I said, you can use this pattern to imitate a bunch of different flies, so you can tie it in a bunch of different colors and sizes. We'll start wrapping that dubbing up. Kind of trying to taper it a little bit. A little more dubbing. All right. And the next step, we'll be tying in 3 pieces of peacock herl to wrap around the base of the post. Give this emerger a little bit of a shine to it. Make it look like it's some sort of air bubble or something as it's coming up out of the water. Try not to catch any of the posts as you're wrapping it. We'll tie that off at just behind the eye. And trim it. Then we'll give this a whip finish. And trim that thread off. And we're going to switch over to our 17/0 Trico uni thread. This thread just basically disappears, so we'll wrap that around the base of the parachute. Now, this step is just to make a little bit of a prettier fly, neater. Shouldn't be able to see the thread wraps at all once we've wrapped the hackle down the parachute. So we're going to wrap the hackle underneath each wrap, try not to catch any fibers. And we're going to try to do 5, 6, 7 turns of this hackle here. And then catch it with our thread. 1, 2 over top and 2 underneath. Go in and trim the hackle. And then we're going to whip finish around the posts. Underneath all your hackle wraps. Try not to catch any barbs. Tighten that up, go in with your scissors, cut it, and then trim up the parachute post. Try and keep it about the length of the hackle. There's your Klinkhamer.